Welcome back to Final Fantasy V. Last time, we cleared pretty much everything. This time, as you can see, went from this to this. So, I did some grinding to max out all the classes I wanted to. It took me about 4 hours. But, yeah, here's our setup now. So, I've got a lot of different things to use as commands. So, due to the equipment restrictions of Mime, I don't quite have as many mimes as I might want, but it's absolutely workable, and I have so much stuff otherwise. But we've got Mimic on Faris because she was just able to ABP up very quickly. Got her done pretty fast. Other things worthy of note. White Mage in this hack has ABP up as well, since it has a few redundant abilities as it is. And Lena also has a class with EXP up. It's not on Cannoneer anymore, but Lena, who got left behind for part of the story, is now easily the highest level out of everyone here. And so now we can go to the Void. So yes, this is probably a cutscene you've accidentally triggered while crossing the world map, because once Tycoon Castle is absorbed by the Void and you have an airship that can hover over it, doing that will take you here. I had to re-record a few times because I kept accidentally doing that. So welcome to the Interdimensional Rift, our final dungeon of the game. And also, let's welcome our first enemies. Who is going to die first? Landcrawler? Cool. Let's destroy him. So, entirely redundant to use Mimic here since Faris has a basic attack, but, you know, let's show it off a little bit anyway. And now here's Rapid Fire, which is normally a thing that the Ranger gets, but instead that goes to Gladiator in this hack. And thanks to Mimic, I can now have a character who punches do Rapid Fire.
Jesus.
Rapid Fire is 4 weaker attacks, which means with a monk, or a monk-type character, that is 8 weaker attacks. So, you know, about 8,000 damage, give or take. Oh, hey Dorm Chimera, how's it going? I don't need to do anything fancy to you. Get out of here.
With Krill's mime setup, you can just turn her into small Kenshiro.
Oh, absolutely. She will never stop punching. For 1,000 years, we have been sealed in the rift. Oh, hey, Bartz. Alright, so, here are a bunch of people who did not see what we just did to those random encounters, and now they're going to leave. So, I will say, Interdimensional Rift is actually a pretty tough dungeon if you're not prepared for it. Usually when I get to this point, I have not done about 4 hours of grinding. I'm still usually, you know, training up my regular classes, so this is actually pretty tough to get through. I have to be careful. However, I have done 4 hours of grinding. Didn't even need to do anything fancy for that guy. I'm just very strong and have good equipment. It's like the one downside to Rapid Fire is it's not single target. It will attack all enemies randomly. So, against a large group, you might accidentally spread your damage out too thin. Against single foes, they die. they just die.
Does it check to see if an enemy has died mid-attack, or does it wait until after all of the rapid-fire attacks have landed?
I believe afterwards. That's usually how it works. I've definitely overkilled with stuff like Comet or Meteor before as well.
Because that was another thing I was thinking of.
So that was the Combine command from Cannoneer, which is actually pretty strong. You just need resources for it. Which, considering I was grinding against Object Arts for a while, I had plenty of money.
It's weird that in your current setup, Ferris is the one doing the least amount of damage.
Oh yeah, she is absolutely, like, the least physically damaging from the outset. She does, however, have summons, and combine. And also, I have kitted her out to be, a dodge tank. Basically, everything on her just makes her dodgier. So I'll also say, I really like the Interdimensional Rift as a final area. It's a really good excuse to just make it this weird area that is just a combination of other areas, because of course, the Void has been absorbing a bunch of different places, so now that's all just kind of been mashed together in weird and strange ways.
I don't think I ever realized how prominent that design concept was for this era of Squaresoft JRPGs.
Mm-hmm. You know, it is a very fun concept to play with, and it works out, you know. Usually it's kind of an oddity, but whatever, it makes for a cool setup. The other cool thing is, yeah, this is the Phantom Village. This is the version of it that is stopped in time forever. So the random battle version is just, you know, out in the regular world, but here, yeah, they're all just stopped. Also worthy of note, there aren't any random encounters here, so, you get a free heal. And I guess if you've never visited this place, this must be really weird. Like, you just randomly run across a village. But yeah, kind of a neat diversion. Very short, but I like how they keep up with that.
Okay, so it does check at the end.
Yeah.
God.
Barris may be the weakest, but, that's still really good.
Pulls out a knife, pulls out a knife, pulls out a knife, pulls out a knife.
Alright, got a Dragon Ping, which is also important. We've got some wizards. Farfurlo. Probably didn't pronounce that correctly. Oh well, who cares? Barris does still have the magic she gets from the Summoner class. Inherent stats are really nice. Oh, and another ribbon. I mean, that is gonna be useful. Okay, white flames are annoying because they absorb a lot of different elements. So what if we just did this? Let's just hit him with Silver Cannon. Are you part werewolf? Maybe, maybe not. They're dead either way. So yeah, the one thing I do kind of miss, and the reason I kind of wish I could use mine with everybody is, man, I would like aim on Bartz. That would be just incredibly useful. Hello. Why don't you rest here for all eternity? Oh, Califestero, you are talking so big, but, hey, guess what? Dual cast flare. What if I just said dual cast flare?
Interesting argument. However, dual cast flare.
Ah, God, I really like the Final Fantasy V class system. And I really like this hack because it means stuff like this is just so easy to do now. I put in the time, and now I just completely fucking obliterated this boss. Just look at this. Quad flare. And Ferris is casting for free, because that's just Mimic. That's just Mimic, baby.
Gave her the old Donald Duck special.
Zeta's flare's like 4 flares, right? It's fine.
I just associate Flare as a spell with Donald Duck now.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general. Instead of, Bahamut.
Bahamut, the Flare Man? Nah, Donald Duck. Alright, so this is definitely where the random encounters start getting a little more difficult. If you wound up wandering here early, you might be able to get through the desert area without too much issue, but these enemies can be kinda tough. But again, I can do this. I will say, even if you have more limited ability slots in vanilla, it is still very fun to play around with the fruits of your labor. Well, once you've gotten through the game and you just have a bunch of different things to utilize and throw together, it feels really nice.
Yeah, I can, even without Mimic, dual cast is still a lot of fun. Even if it's rarely the best thing to do, there's something just very fun about dual casting Bahamut.
Honestly, like, having everybody master everything sounds very tedious. And versions of the game that have achievements, there are achievements for doing that, but, I don't quite know if I'd want to do that, but to be fair, giving people more options wouldn't be a bad idea. I think especially if you're a bored kid, just grinding up all the classes so you have access to everything could be an okay idea. And,
Probably why I never beat this game.
just got too stuck on grinding.
Yeah, I'm so bad at that.
Oh, so that's a mysterious silhouette. Alright, so we've got a save point right here. You're going to want to use this. Trust me, you should use it. I did do an edit here because I had to change around basically everything. Because we're going to be doing something I normally skip over. But I actually do have a pretty good strategy for what's coming up. For one, it actually turns out it was really cool for this hack to change Rapid Fire to the Gladiator class. That benefits me personally. Because we're going to need it to this thing I've alluded to many times. We've seen weaker versions of this enemy, but this is Omega, one of the game's super bosses. So first off, Calm. In the Game Boy Advance version, this is actually really good for Omega, because what it's supposed to do is cast Stop on, natural enemies, and it doesn't affect artificial enemies. That's glitched in the Game Boy Advance version. It does the exact opposite. You can only use Calm on artificial enemies. For an alternative, Bard does also work on Omega. You are also going to want to be able to absorb fire, amongst other things. Being able to stop status effects is also good. We're also going to want to use the Mix command. Now, I'm pretty sure in the past I've said the heavy status effect is enemy only, and that's incorrect. Dragon Kiss gives your own characters the heavy status, which means things won't affect Lena quite as much. And that's a necessity because amongst many damage-dealing things that Omega has, he also has the move Encircle. And if that happens, you'll see a text box that says, "Can't remember," and then that character disappears from existence for the rest of the fight. Reality just forgets them. So Omega absorbs all elements except for electricity, but also he has Reflect, so in most cases you can't just hit him with a Black Mage. He also does counter dual cast if you try to dual cast against him. He just decides, I'm also going to move twice in a row. So this is why Rapid Fire on Lena's a good thing. Because she was also a Mage Knight, that means I can bypass his Reflect, since Magic Sword doesn't actually get affected by that sort of thing, and I can just hit him repeatedly. Spark Shot is a little less useful. So here's Mustard Bomb. And here he is trying to erase someone from existence. I made sure to have Bartz and Lena safe from that, because I need Bartz for healing, and I need Lena to actually win this fight.
It's only tangentially related, but seeing you scroll through White Magic made me realize the reason Red Mage gets dual cast is probably so that you can cast White Mage and Black Magic in the same turn, huh? Not just bombard the enemy.
Probably something like that, yeah. That might have been the original intent.
Anyways.
So yeah, that's Omega, one of the super bosses. If you don't have a strategy going in, he will kill you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Again, I normally just skip over him. If I get caught on the overworld, I'm just like, alright, I have to reload save, I'm dead now. Also wild that he just has the regular battle theme playing. Alright, so the Omega Badge is your reward for killing Omega. It doesn't do anything, it just says, yeah, you beat a super boss, good for you. The Ancients couldn't do that, so they just threw him in the interdimensional rift. You actually killed him, good one, guys. Alright, so that's our first foray into the Void. Next time, we'll continue our journey through the final area.